outside the law. A research by a policy think tank, the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research of the University of Ghana, has predicted that Ghana's GDP could shrink to as low as 2% this year. Micro and small scale businesses in Ghana could be losing $2.2 million per day, we're told, as a result of the power crisis. And according to ISE, small business owners' income have also shrunk by some 48% due to the lack of regular electricity. And some of these business owners too have been sharing their concerns with the news team. But it means that they estimate that by the close of the year, the GDP would have shrunk up to 2.3%, and already we're having turmoil because of the difficulties. That's how we do something. Yeah, we're told what the timelines are. Of course, we've shifted the immediate one from April to September, but ultimately the economy seems to be reeling under this very energy crisis.
Yeah, before that, it is not true that Ghanaians are not interested in what is happening in MPP. Ghanaians are very much interested because they can form the next government.
Oh,
and
okay.
so you have to be able to organize.
Thank you. You are forming the next government.
You can. I said you can.
Yeah.
I didn't say you will form. So you have to show to Ghanaians that you are a serious party who can organize yourself. But if you are disintegrating yourself this way, Ghanaians will not take you serious.
Per your analysis,
going to the energy situation, I believe we all know the effect of this doing so. And
I don't think
His
so.
Excellency the President himself have apologized to Ghanaians, and he said that his government will do everything possible to address this energy crisis. Nobody can say that or can underestimate the energy problem that we face as a country today, and it impacts on daily bread, because this has affected our petty traders, barbers, seamstresses, everybody. And so certainly it will affect input by businessmen, and it will also affect their revenue, and certainly it will also increase overhead costs in running their businesses. And so the problems are enormous. But as has been said by His Excellency the President, we understand the problems. We know what is worrying us. And it is good that you understand the problems and you know what is worrying you, so that you can prepare to...
But it's not enough just knowing.
Yes, but the point is that solving this type of problems is not something that you can rush. It's not a one-month thing.
It takes systematic planning,
It's not 2 months thing. You understand? It's not like, oh, there is a tree that has fallen into a road. You just get a dormer machine, just cut it, and everybody can. That is not it. It takes time. Even when President Kufuor, they started the Bui Dam in 2007, look at when we completed it. They couldn't even use when in office to complete it. It was during President Mahamad's term that the first phase was commissioned, isn't it? That is after 5 years. You understand? And so it is not something that you can just say, oh, we have the problem, and then let's rush and solve it. You can't do that. So that is why the President is appealing to all Ghanaians that he knows that the energy situation is not good. The energy problem is affecting everybody, but they should exercise restraint, exercise patience to allow him to face this problem, which has been with us so many years.
You see, when you don't prioritize, yes, you come back and tell us that now you are apologizing. This is not an emergency situation. The current situation is not an emergency situation. So if you know that we've been here before, the president knew before he contested. In fact, in September 2012, he told us that he has directed that the ministerial committee to be put together and solve the situation. In September 2012, at the IEA debate, he assured us that he was giving us 3 months to solve the problem. from the time he was sworn in as a president of this country, he had given us not less than 10 different timelines to resolve this problem. Personally as a president and even as a government. So if today you are coming back to tell us that you are sorry for what? We should forgive you for lying to us, for giving us timelines. Because look, as businesses, look, our investors are pulling out. I am telling you, our investors are pulling out. We do software development. And you can't even meet timelines because you don't have light most of the time. People come to work and come and sit down. You need to go buy fuel to power your generator. How many Ghanaians can do that? So please, it's not enough to be apologizing now. Apologize for lying to us, yes, then we can accept it. But tell us that you can't do it. It is clear that the president lacked the skills to solve the energy crisis. He can beg us for all we care, but we'll still be here. I'm sure that 8 months ago I was here, and I told you, look, I'm not sure this president is telling us the truth. Probably we need to spill the beans and call in experts. I've said this before. Let's have people with knowledge to come on board, because it's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. The last time the British Council closed shop because of power. We've been told that Turkey is building a power barge for us. It was coming in April. What happened? When you are truthful to Ghanaians,
the problem I have with MPP, when they try to politicize this energy program, is that you had opportunity to have faced this problem.
Yes, and you have.
Listen. Don't let us politicize this matter.
I don't know what
because it is not fair to say that the president has lied to you.
Don't blackmail me. Don't blackmail me with politicizing an issue.
That is the argument you are putting up now.
The energy crisis is a political issue. It's a political issue because decisions are taken by politicians.
They're not going to history.
So
you had opportunity to face this.
All right, so you want let's cool it. Let's cool it. Now, gentlemen.
I did not.
Oh, you haven't concluded.
No, I haven't concluded.
Hey.
He was
after you have finished.
You are interrupting me, my brother. So
please wrap up for me.
You go to
2001
and then blame it on us, right?
When you politicize it.
Okay. The reality
today is that you are in charge.
I agree.
So Fred,
I agree.
Fred and
I agree.
The reality is that, as far as we're concerned, Mr. He and Mr. Mankwasafo, the interest rates of this country, as far as what is being charged by the commercial banks, based on what the base rates they are from the central bank, have gone up. It's all because the economy is not doing well, and so the cost of borrowing has become high. Government over the period, because the economy is not doing well, is also not having enough import cover, not enough in the reserves, not being seen to be creditworthy, but also government is borrowing from the local market. And once we're borrowing, we're crowding out the small-scale industry. We're also crowding out industry. As a result of that, credit is not available. And so the interest rates are also high. Now, these are realities that we have to contend with. Yeah. What do you think in the immediate to the medium term we can do to perhaps conscientize ourselves and say, let me borrow the president's word, we should be smart enough and say, these are the steps that we need to take?
You see, the economy is not doing well because today we import virtually everything into this country. We have economy which is dependent on import. And if we have a country which is not producing, which is not expanding the production base, which is not growing manufacturing, then you have a problem. You understand?
But we need energy to do all this.
Even toothpick. We import toothpick into this country. That is why the president, on the State of the Nation address, emphasized the need for us to, show interest in what we grow locally. You understand? And so this homegrown policy is earmarked to resolve these fundamental economic challenges that we have. So long as we continue to import virtually everything into this country, we will find ourselves in this situation. The only way is to encourage production, encourage manufacturing. I agree that it is contingent on the availability of energy for industry to strive. But the fundamental problem today is that as a country, we are not doing well in production. We are not doing well in manufacturing industry. So we import everything, rice, chicken, oil, everything. So what we are doing is that we are creating employment for some people in other countries.
Are we doing something about it?
Yes, that is why the president is encouraging this homegrown program, where unlike 2008, when we imported 500 million tons of rice, dollars, into this country, today we have reduced it by 50%. So we are encouraging local rice production. We are encouraging the youth to go into rice production, and then we have this buffer company. You know, when you go to the cocoa sector, because there is a regulatory body which is there to regulate the conduct of farmers, they have fixed cocoa prices for them. It motivates the farmers to go into cocoa industry. But when you come to the other crops, they are at the mercy of the buyers. And so this buffer stock company has been mandated to buy from the farmers and then store them. And so now there is a price approved by the government with regards to rice. And because of that, many more people are now moving into rice production, which is why it has reduced the amount of rice we were importing if you compare in 2008.
And we expect that it to reduce further?
Yes, it is reducing further. You understand? And then we are trying to also expand the poultry farming. Recently, they granted some monies to support
the industry.
The industry. You understand? So long as we will not show interest in buying what we have, but we have taste for perfume. In fact, after the local rice production have produced the rice, you go to the market, there are people who say, no, me, I don't want this local rice, I want perfume. Forgetting that if you are buying perfume, it means that you are denying employment locally.
Can't our rice be perfume?
Sorry?
Our rice too. We can grow perfume.
That is why we have companies now that are growing to process it,
okay,
so that it performs
perfume.
the same function. You understand?
I am intrigued because a member of government would tell us the problem that we have. I'm sure that on a daily basis.
But he's also been able to outline some of the steps that have been.
I'm sure that on a daily basis those who import, you take taxes from these people. There's nothing that enters this country that is not taxed at the port. So you have revenue for things that are coming in, right? And yet, like you said, we are borrowing so much money from the banks and crowding out entrepreneurs. The very people you are asking that they should be encouraged, where do they get the money to set up the businesses, even if they have the business ideas? Because you are borrowing so much from them. The city is plummeting. You know this fundamental situation. How is anybody going to assess the nation and come and invest here and build any factory? He doesn't have light. He doesn't have power. So yes, you can do all the encouragement that you want to do, but encouraging somebody or encouraging entrepreneurs is putting in place measures and policies that will help them for their businesses to thrive. People are rational and they would act when the system is good for them. You cannot legislate that people should not eat perfume rice. If Ghanaians want to perfume their rice, they need a factory to do that. You cannot take rice from the farm.
Fred, let me ask you this. Yeah. Let me ask you this. For all intent and purposes, we've heard from the State of the Nation address, the budget readings, and the publication of the document itself to the wider public, that steps have been taken by government, either through levies or taxation or tax reliefs, etc., to make sure that we prop up the local industry. But do you think that the steps that have been taken ultimately are in the right direction? Are they expedient enough?
They are not. They are not. I'll be the last person to accept that. Things that are being done. Because see, it is not your intention. Your intentions are not enough. What are the results?
But
the results are there.
What are the results?
I've told you one.
You started by enumerating the challenges or reasons why we are
in this problem and the way forward.
The way forward is that government is encouraging people. Meanwhile, the person wakes up in the morning.
Not only encouraging.
24 hours, he doesn't have light. Talk about even poultry. Encouraging poultry farmers. Can you imagine that you bring day-old chicks in your poultry farm? What do they need? What would they need? They will need light. Even to be able to hatch your eggs, you will need power. How are you going to encourage the poultry farmer? He will need finance. So you have to go to the bank.
So what's saying
the interest rate?
What's saying the energy sector is vital too. It's an underlying.
The energy factor is the underlying point. If we don't do that,
I
we can do all the talking.
I agree, but you need to also
stop borrowing from the banks for consumption. Because you see, people would not go to the bank. The banks are now, even the oil marketing companies, the banks are refusing to give them credit facilities. If we don't take time, in the next month or so, we might have to.
All right.
This interest rate issue that is so high in this country, it has its history.
What is history?
Because of a lot of people borrow money.
To do what?
They are unable to pay. So the banks, what they do is the risk factor. Then
so the risk factor is
they place a lot of this on the risk factor. You understand?
Honorable.
No, but you know it. You're a businessman, you know it.
People go to the bank to
call the bankers and find out.
And
that's what they do.
And they are not able to pay.
We have to wrap up. I think many of them also have reiterated this on many platforms.
Because at the end of the day, they have to run most of the loans bad debt. They can't
because people can't pay back also. Because the economy too is not.
There are fundamental problems that we have to address.
Samson Ahi is the Deputy Minister for Water Resources, Works and Housing. And thanks for joining us, sir. And also, we have had in the studio Fred Amankwasafo, and Fred Amankwasafo is a member of the MPP's communication team. Thanks for joining me, Fred.
Thank you,
I wanted to ask you something, Fred, Sam. The agencies, the MDAs that owe government, they owe electricity and the other tariffs, water. What's the structure? How are they supposed to pay? Because you are with, let's say, government's estate, so to speak.
Water.
Water Resources, Works and Housing.
The hospitals and then the public institutions, before they were paying, government issued a release that we should not disconnect, like for instance, Kolebu or Konfanochi, because of the important services that they render to.
Well, we do understand that, but how are they supposed to pay? What do they pay for? Is it from their subventions?
Subventions and then the IGF, Internal Generated Fund.
So have you directed that they need to generate enough?
Yes, they should be able to pay. What we are doing now, in fact, next week we'll have meeting with the vice chancellors and the head of the health institutions. If they owe so much that they cannot pay at once, we want to enter into payment terms with them, so that they will comply, so that the Ghana Water Company
what they do, the allocations too don't come early. We know government statutory payments have been delayed.
No, but we need Ghana Water Company to be in business to continue to produce water, so that they can also render the good services to us. You understand?
Well, thank you very much, Samson Ahi. And that'll be it for the AM show this morning and for the rest of the week. Please, we'll be joining us, bringing to you a great show again, starting from Monday. So do join us and make a date, as always. Enjoy your weekend.